There's a, there was already.
The live weekend. Yeah, I see a chat. The live weekend, it depends on what the people are. The last weekend there were only Dutch people, so we did it in Dutch, and there was one English woman, and if she asked a question, we could do it in English. So normally, I think because there are not so many people traveling already, I think it will be in Dutch, but we'll see. There's a possibility also for the English-speaking people. Okay, I'm starting a talk. It's always a bit strange to talk. There's only this, and there's only apparently this. So nothing is real. And we are so focused on everything is real and solid, and I am real, and my body is real. So I have to deal with anything, what is happening to me, what is happening in the world. And there are a lot of problems that have to be solved. And what can I do with that? What is the right thing to do? What can we not do? Is there something that's better than something else? How can I take care of myself or take care of the people I know and I love? So there's so many questions going around, and everybody is busy trying to do the best thing they can. The funny thing is, in this message, there's a saying, there's no one. And that's not so much heard. Maybe in these days there are some more people that talk about this. But the normal thing is that we think that we are there. We have a free will. We have a choice to make things happen. And the way we do that is trying to think about it and trying to solve our problems, and it seems like everything is happening to us. So circumstances are very important to deal with and to do the right thing. So you feel happy, or you feel good, or you feel relaxed. And that's the thing that is normally thought of in the world, that it's about feeling good. It's about doing the right thing so you feel good. Everything is about you. That's also the funny thing. The strange thing is, everything, and really with human, everything is about us. Trying to save the world is also for us, because we want to live a life that's comfortable and relaxed and maybe happy. So everything is done to give yourself a good feeling, in the end. And it seems like a struggle to do that, because it's always changing. So there can be moments it's like it's relaxing and it's happy, and then there seems to happen something or change something, and it's not that relaxed anymore, or maybe there's a lot of emotions or other things happening. And it seems like we have to work on that, or we have to change things to make it more relaxed or make it better. When there's no one, there's nothing, and no one can try to change anything. So the strange thing is that when there's no one, there's also no need to change anything, because that what is it. And we think like this is it, but I don't like that, or I don't want that, or I would like something else, or this is not feeling comfortable or not feeling good, so I want something else. It's always about something else that should be better, or is better, or will be better. Maybe some hope is there that someday it will be better. It's an endless struggle and an endless suffering also. And there's no one. And that's something you cannot understand. This message is not about understanding. It's about something else that in some way everybody, it's known. And it's not known by knowing in the sense of that it will be clear someday. It's in another way. And that's what this message is also about. This is not about the words that's been said. It doesn't matter if you like the words or if you understand the words or if it's clear. It doesn't matter. It's not really in the words. It's underneath the words. There's something going on, and that's what's not can be, but cannot be mentioned. That's some people can sense something, like there's something else going on, and that's where this message is about. It's about there's nothing wrong. There's nothing right, but there's also nothing wrong. It's what it is. And we are so used to look at it and thinking, it doesn't feel good, so it's not good. Or it doesn't, most of the time it doesn't feel good. This is not about if it's feeling good or not good. This message is not about feeling good. It's about what is. And it is not about accepting, because there's no one who can accept anything. Everything is apparent. That's very strange to hear, because we are so used to see that everything is real, everything is solid. You are real, the body seems to be solid and real. And then there's somebody talking like nothing is real. Even the body isn't real. So there's no identity. That can be a relief, that also can be very threatening, because there's a lot of investment in the identity. That's like, I am here and I do a lot of things, and I have done a lot of things to make that I feel good, or that my circumstances are all right. So I'm responsible and I can do things. And then suddenly this message is heard, and then there's no one, and there's never done anything. It seems that you did something yesterday, but there's no yesterday. So there are a lot of new bombs here in this meeting. Like there's no time. And that when there's no time, sometimes we know there's no time, because in holiday you don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday or things like that. But also when there's no time, there's no before and there's no after. So there are no consequences. There's no responsibility. There's only innocence. That's huge. There's only this, and there's only apparently this. So nothing is happening. That's amazing, because we are so into the story of life is happening, the world is happening, I am happening, and what else, and how to deal with anything. And then suddenly, nothing is real. It's only apparently real. There's no time. There's no consequences. There are no relations. Because when there's no one, there's also no relation. It's not only that some people say, Rose has no me anymore, something like that. It's not like that. There is already no me. Nothing need to happen to have no me anymore, because that's what normally we are thinking like there's something wrong. There's something not right yet. There's something, so we go to people or meetings or try to figure it out, to make it right, or to see what is the right thing, or to lose the me in these meetings maybe. And you can't lose your me, because there is already no one. So there's no need to lose it. There's no need for anything. That's also very strange, because we are thinking we have a need to change something because I don't feel good all the time. This is not about feeling good. It can be anything. Feelings can happen, emotions can happen, pain can happen, anything can happen. Like there's no change when it's very obvious that there's no one. And then suddenly it's very obvious. And then there's no change in seemingly circumstances or the body or that. So nothing did really happen. And we think, that will be the end. Finally, no me, that will be the end. And there will be much more glory or much more relaxation. There can be, or not. You don't know. This is about not knowing. Knowing can be there, being clear can be there, but it has no meaning. Nothing has any meaning. Nothing has any meaning. We are so into meaning. The thoughts we have seems to have a meaning and they have an importance, and like this is the truth and very convincing. And then there's hearing, oh, thoughts can be there, but they don't have any meaning. They don't have any power also. It's just thoughts can happen on the floor or drinking coffee or an emotion. Nothing is more important than anything else. Life isn't going anywhere. It is. That's it. It's apparently there. It's energy, you could say. Nothing is, there's no story. There seems to be a story, and that's very convincing and it seems very, in the normal world, it seems like there's always a story going on. And the story is important. There's some things going on, and there has to be something done with that, or with me, or with other people. There's no world. There's only what is. And that can be seen or sensed by the 5 senses. And that's it. Hearing something. There's no outside and there's no inside. That's another one. There's nothing inside. That's what we see. Inside this body, there is someone, and maybe there is some things going on. It's very convincing and very normal, like thinking that. Everything is empty. It's what it's seeing. They're seeing a face and maybe something there. That's it. That's what is seen. And it seemed, for example, me, like there's Rose happening there, and she's saying things, and maybe it's clear or it's not clear. And then it seems like, there's a person, and how is that person living, and things like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how Rose is living. Rose is just a character somewhere, seems to be. And there's no difference. Because what is happening already, that what seems to happen, but in the apparent story, you could say, that's it. So when there's being angry, then there's being angry. So that's it. So what? Nothing is wrong. It can't be wrong. That's life. Life can't be wrong. That's huge. Nothing is wrong. And when there seems to be someone, and that seems very convincing from a young age, suddenly there seems to be a separation, and seems to be, the abstract mind is there, and also we see somebody else, and it's there, and we have to behave in a certain way, and the whole story seems to start, and surviving systems seems to start. And then suddenly there's seen like, there's no one. Because when there seems to be another person, there's always thinking like there's a whole survival system going on, like behaving in a certain way. And that's not only in the mind or in the thoughts going on. It's an embodied survival system. So me is energetic. It's an energetic seemingly something, because it isn't real, but it's seen to explain in the story. That's also, we explain in the story, and in the same time it isn't real. Me is a whole complex of, could say in that sense, like concepts, beliefs, like that. And they can be very convincing and very hypnotic and very embodied and very strong. A lot of density, tense body, tense feeling, tense muscles. And then me is the feeling there's something wrong, or the belief there's something wrong. But you can't undo that, because there's no one doing it. This message is very strange. It's always somewhere there's something wrong, there's something not right yet, and that's so deeply embodied that it seems to happen in the world, in that the world around you that seems to be there. It seems to happen inside, like thinking about yourself and things that's going on. And it's always underneath everything. And then suddenly it isn't there. that whole thing about there's something wrong. It's not then that saying like, oh, you're all right, things like that. No, the only thing that is not coming is there's something wrong. There's nothing, so it's nothing happening, and at the same time it's huge, because that's the normal thing. And if that's not happening, it's also forgotten it was there. That's the strange thing. It is very normal. It's very normal not to think about things or trying to change things or being busy with, is this all right or is it not all right? So life is very easy. It's very simple. Nothing is going on about what's right or what's wrong. It's what it is. There's also no protection. That's what me does, trying to protect itself and being safe in a way. And that's whole survival system, you could say, or the me, is not there. There's no protection, but there's no need for protection. Maybe feelings can be stronger, can be very strong and there. There's nothing going on about trying to deal with that. It's just feeling that, like that. Just be there, it's there. And then after a while, maybe it's changing. It's different. So we can talk about that, and maybe there are questions about this or sharing or nothing going on. No questions at all. That can also be like that. We'll see what happens.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hey. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I have a question actually,
Yeah.
and it is I got this question after a book I read. It was of Jed McKenna. I think you know this author. And the it I got a little bit confused. I noticed the past week
Mm.
about a point of view, and for me it was I think, a solipsist kind of view. So
what kind of
solipsism, where
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
that this is a line that I remember, and he writes that I cannot be sure that there are other people, because I have just one. It's my experience, and in this experience, there seem to be people, but it is in my own experience. So he says basically you cannot say that there are other people. So I understand. I understand the Advaita path or non-dual path. I found a lot of peace in it, and actually I see the world as this. But then this thing confused me. Like I felt one, or I felt a lot of peace, and then it made me feel really alone also. So I got a little bit confused. Now the question is
about that experiencing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the question is, I have not good formulating about it, but about perception. So I seem to perceive a world where are other humans in it, but I cannot be sure there are other humans. I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
Yeah. I can understand. Yeah.
So, and the thing about persons I get, like there's no cause inside me. That's nonsense. The ego.
There's no what inside me? There's
a person.
Oh.
Personality.
Yeah.
So I understand that's a symbol, my name.
Yeah.
But I was pretty sure, I'm still pretty sure that it seems to be that there are other people. You understand?
Yeah, I understand what you say.
Yeah. So my question is, are we all perceiving like the same reality, or are we all perceiving our own universe? I'm not sure.
This is a different. Yeah, I name it. It's all right. Okay. This is a different message than that person where you're mentioning. This is different. Yes, I'm not talking about there's some experiencer. Yes. There's no one. So that's completely different. And there's not someone perceiving other people, or the way you describe it like that. I'm not seeing it like that. The only thing there is what is seen, and what is there may be other bodies, but there's no one in it. That because I can't see it. It's very literally. You can assume there's someone inside, but I don't see it. So it's very literally only. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's not about. I don't see a world also, because where's the world? That's also an imagination. We can imagine so many things that when you hear about on the television or in the newspaper, there's hearing another country is going on something. That's information about the television. And we think everything is real. There's a real country and there's a world. And that everything what is seen, that's it. And that's very tiny and little, because there's no world. So that's also, there's no story about that, because it's only that what's literally is happening, seems to happen, because nothing is also real. That's also another thing. So there's no experiencer.
Yes. So if there's no experience, you say there's only apparent experience happening.
No, there's no experience also. There can be pain, but that's not experience, it's pain. When we think I'm here, that's what, I don't know what your word, normally it's I'm here and I experience pain. The pain is happening, but it's not happening for me, it's not happening in this body, it's in space somewhere, because the body is also not real. So it's not my pain or experiencing pain. Pain happens, or thought happens, or
so there's just pain,
or
Yeah.
There's only pain. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
The sensation of pain.
Yeah, sensation. Yeah, you could say that.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's no one's pain. And
Yeah. Yeah.
the amazing thing of that is when there's no one, then
Yes.
everything is one.
Yeah.
Then it's already like that, of course, but then it's very obvious. Then everything is already one.
Yeah.
But when we think there's someone here experiencing things or thinking, yeah, then there seems to be two. And that makes maybe people like can be a feeling of loneliness. People, but when there's a feeling like loneliness, it's not because of that what's said or maybe what is read or things like that. There can be a feeling like that for no reason.
It's there.
Because we always think it's because of something we read or something that happens or some. No, it's there, can be there, and then it's something else.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good answer. Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, there's another chat. It's all right, so like this, or you want to say something more?
No, it's enough. It's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
There's a chat. Okay, I have the idea that drinking alcohol is bad, so I critic myself when I drink 1 beer a day and try to stop this. This is kind of a struggle, and then I think it's going away from reality. Yeah, that's the normal way of thinking, like the psychological way of thinking. When there's drinking beer, that's it. So what? Can be anything. Can be drinking a lot of beer or watching television and drinking beer and smoking cigarettes. There's so many. When there's feeling there's something wrong, it jumps on everything. It seems like everything is, sometimes it's about drinking, sometimes it's about the world, it doesn't matter. It's always about something. And when it's then it's not a drinking anymore, then it's something else. So it's not about drinking or something about what's happening what seems to happen in the story. This is about there's no me and nothing is wrong or right. It's what's happening, and it's not happening for anyone. It's what's happening. There can be drinking beer, and there's also no time. So there's no before. Oh, yesterday I did it also, and I just decided that I wouldn't do that anymore. So everybody knows that. Then there was that decision. Maybe there's a remembering of that decision, and then suddenly there's something going on, and there's taking that beer. Yeah, then there's something going on and taking that beer. It's not you doing that. That's what apparently happens. And it's huge that it's apparent, because there's nothing really happening. When everything is real and solid and seems to be, I have to take care of my body, of myself, and doing the right thing, then it seems very important to do the right thing. When there's no one and there's nothing is real, nothing is important. And it can be anything. There can be drinking beer or being drunk or anything. So what? The suffering is because of there's always something wrong. I have to do something better. You have to do something better. I don't like this. I need something else. Oh, that's very awful what's going on there. It's endless. That whole story of me thinking there's something wrong, and not only thinking, but that's so embodied and seems so normal. And trying to heal, trying to make it right, it's a misunderstanding. There's nothing wrong with anything. And there's no how do you say, I'm not living in reality because I'm drinking or smoking or things like that. There's no, there's that has to be in the now, something like that, or being very clear, or things like that. Watching television and gazing, then there's gazing. So what? That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what happens. That's huge. That's amazing. That's the freedom. It doesn't matter what happens. How can you say that in a world? Everything is important, and this is right, and this is wrong. And this, in this message, it's not about right and wrong. It's everything. Life is everything. It's unconditional love. Unconditional. Hmm. You don't have to understand this. You don't have to take it home and think like, oh, so everything is all right. So saying that to yourself, because that's a concept. That's the awful part of this message, because we want to do something with it, and we want to believe that everything is all right and I'm not wrong, and saying that to yourself, because that's what we normally do. That's what we have in a way, that you can say to yourself, oh, but everything is okay, and it doesn't matter, and nothing is important. Saying that to yourself, it's the same story, because there's still a struggle, like, oh, I'm not all right. Yeah, you're all right. No, I'm right. It's the same story. You can't escape. So thinking there's something wrong is not wrong. that's also that. It's just thinking there's something wrong. Yeah, that can be there. Ah, another one. Isn't it not better to not run away from what is by drinking or TV or go through the bad feelings? Yeah, but that's a psychological story that seems very convincing. But there's no me. There's no one who can do that. It's trying to do something because it's thinking like, this is bad for me and I have to deal with and do other things because I'm not feeling everything. When there's a awful feeling, I don't want to feel that. That's a lot of how do you say that, interpretation. And there's always something wrong in that. There seems to be something wrong, like, oh, I'm not doing the right thing because I'm drinking and I don't want to feel my sadness or something. I don't know. Just drinking, yeah. So that's it. Watching television, so. It's amazing how strong that is, and we're so in that hypnotic dream about there's something wrong with us or what with our behavior or things like that. That's so embodied, so when that suddenly it's not there, it's like, that's the freedom. That's the freedom. It's not about anything. It's not about not drinking or not about something in the story that's happening wrongly, or it's everything. So that's the most easy way, that life is going in a certain way. That's it. And it isn't about us. And we think it's about us. No, it's not. We are not important. Life doesn't see people like us. Life happens like that. It's energetic.
Hello, Rose. Christian.
Hi, hello. Hi.
Yeah, thank you. Uh,
Hmm.
when you say the word energetic, energy,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
interpret it like because like a sensation. I feel energy, but I
Hmm.
don't. So I think I am feeling energy, but energy it could be a feeling or a sensation. Energy is it?
Yeah, or touching the table and there's
Yes,
some sensation.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But
Okay.
energy is it's everything. So it's not always sensed. It's also it's everything. So
Yeah.
what is seen, everything is energy. And sometimes it's
Okay.
seeing things and it seems like a lamp or something else. And
Yeah.
it's not that it's not always like energy is moving and we sense it or things like that. That can be like
Mm,
that, but it's everything. So
mm.
trees,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm. Thank you.
Mm.
But if it's a wall, if it's a tree or
Yeah.
plant energy, uh, you see there's a seeing tree, and that tree we don't see atoms. You don't see atoms of the
No,
tree. No.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
No, this is not very special. It's the same as
Okay.
everybody. It's just a tree, but there's nothing going on about what's, yeah, something. But there can be some information, like knowing that's an oak or something like I don't know. But and abstract thinking can happen also. But there's
Yeah.
well, maybe the difference sometimes can be that there's nothing going on about why or that kind of
Yeah.
things, and because there's no one there, so yeah, I'm not bothered with why or things like that. It can be like sometimes nice to have some information about a tree or things like
Mhm.
that, but that's it, and then it's gone. So,
Okay. Mhm.
but it's the same. It's not seeing things differently in that sense. The,
Okay.
although there's something what I can say about that was the first time. Then I saw suddenly it was like I'm moving through the stones. So I was walking, and then suddenly I was walking not on the stones but through the stones, and in the same time on the stones. So it was like, huh? Everything is. I thought it was just real and on the stones I'm walking, and then suddenly it was like, oh, it's different, and
Mhm.
that's already a long time ago. But then that's still there in a way that nothing is real, but you can't tell how that is. It's very,
Mhm.
very obvious that nothing is real.
Mhm.
But how is you can only say that, but
Yes.
you cannot. I cannot describe that or so, something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
It's no, you can't.
Yeah. Mhm.
Sometimes suddenly in a moment, like oh, and then it's gone. Can be like that. I don't know if you can know that, but there's
Mhm.
something about that.
Yes.
And the
Like
strange thing also is in the beginning here, there's still that's strange to hear. There's still something going on like in when that first moment, then it was that moment, and then after that everything was solid again and normal.
mm,
And then now I think, oh, there's something going on like it seems like a development because it's so much more obvious and much more it's so difficult to say that
mm,
it's much more obvious. Something I can't say differently.
yes, I understand.
That's maybe something, and that's about loss. Maybe some concepts I don't even know they are there. They can be lost, and then suddenly like oh, there's something else, and it's suddenly much more clear and obvious.
Mm,
And that can happen with everybody, of course.
yes.
But then when there's no one, that seems nothing is sticking. So yeah, it's like a tree. Like when there's no glue anymore, everything falls down after a while. And some things are later, and some things are quicker. Something like that. In that sense, that's more a bit an image like that.
Yes.
How it can go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why we can't explain that, that it's obvious, but we can't explain it.
Yeah. And we are so used to talk about things and
Yes.
and say why it is and how it is and things like that.
Yeah.
And then about this, that is, it's a sense somewhere can be sensed, and maybe not saying in words. When people don't know how to say it, then I think, oh, there's something about it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi. There's some new people coming. If you want to say something, you can just do. If you can unmute yourself and say something or ask or use the chat to say something. So there's another chat. So all these people trying to become more spiritual and aware is something else. That's something else. That's another message. You could say that, or another belief. No, that's not another belief, because this message is not a belief, but it's about something else. Yeah. This is not about being aware, because there's no one, so there's no one to be aware. Awareness is part of the me. It's part of the me, and thinking like I'm there, I'm looking at myself and how do I behave, and it should be better, and things like that. And how can I deal with that? So there's something going on about that. And this message is not seeing someone. There's no one. So there's no one to take care. There's no one to deal with things. There's only what's happening. And it's happening to no one. So there can be a feeling, watching television, anything. Sitting in the garden, walking in the city. And the story seems very real and important, and trying to do I'm thinking, I'm in the city, there's so many people, I don't like that, I have to go to the nature, or for example. There's always something. When there's someone, there's always something not right. That's the suffering. That's part of that me. There's always something not right, or not right yet, of I'm not okay, or I'm not worth it, things like that. That's part of that me, that's that me. And that's a misunderstanding. but it's embodied. It's so embodied. So it's not only you can undo it by thinking. You can't undo it because there's no one also. But you don't have to undo it, because when they're thinking that, then they're thinking that thoughts can be there. And when it seems very real, then it feels very real. And there can be a feeling. Then there's that feeling. It doesn't mean that when there's no me, is no angry person anymore, or there's no anger anymore. There can be anger like that. Then it can happen. So emotions can be there, feelings can be there. But that's the same. There's not, in that sense, there's no difference. The only difference is there's no one trying to deal with that, or thinking this is wrong or so. There can be tension in your neck, and there can be lying down. And it seems, and that's what we normally think, when there's tension in my neck and there's lying down, I'm lying down because I feel tension in my leg and it's good to do this and this and this. And you think that lying down is because you made a decision. That's very hypnotizing, or very, how do you say, strong. There's lying down, and it has nothing to do with the neck. And that seems strange, because we're so seeing things in time, and I'm doing this because of that, and this happened before, and now I'm doing this, that's because of that, what happens before. There's no time. There's only this. And when this is happening, it has nothing to do with something that is in that's in remembering, that can be there. There's nothing to do with before. There is no before. It doesn't mean that you don't say that in the story anymore, because then you can say it in the story. Oh, I'm so pain in my neck, and it seems too easy. But it's not saying to yourself, "Oh, there's no story," or "There's nothing going on." That's because then that's a concept, and then that's, I can understand. That's too easy. It's not about that. So it's not saying to yourself, "Oh, nothing is going on because there's no before." That's something else. This is about when there's pain, and where there's lying down, there can be lying down. And there can be saying like, "Oh, I'm going to lie down because I have some pain in my neck." That's talking in the story. Well, that still goes on, but it's not real, but doesn't matter. Can be go on. But at the same time, it's not real. This has nothing to do with an escape. Because it's not saying to yourself, "Oh, nothing is wrong," or something like that. Yeah, there was a car accident, and afterwards the tension in the neck was there. So, yeah, it's very convincing. And if you see it like that, then you see it like that. Okay, and it's sometimes amazing to hear something else, but if you see it like that, then that's what's happening. But it's also amazing to hear that there's something, that there's no before and no after. That's something, it's nearly never discussed, or never discussed or questioned. And suddenly you can hear something, "Oh, what is that?" This is not about understanding or believing this. You don't have to believe this. You can't believe. That's nothing. It's not about believing. Both is also possible. That seems to be like that. When there's a story, we live all in the story, and it seems real and solid. And there's a before, and there's a yesterday, and there's a tomorrow. It's the abstract mind and the brain of the abstract brain. Brain can abstract, like so I say that. So we believe that there's a tomorrow and there was a yesterday because there are memories. So it seems very normal and we live in that. And then suddenly it seemed like, oh, there's no yesterday. There is no yesterday. There's only this. Whoa. That cuts through so many things. Maybe when you're having an accident, maybe then you speak different. I don't think so. There can be an accident. Of course, there can be an accident. Can be pain still, and there can be going to the doctor, but there's no before still. It's not saying there's no accident or there's no pain. There was, but then nothing is happening. I can't say differently. Nothing is real. Nothing is real. It's only apparently real. And there can be feeling pain. Sure, there can be feeling pain. But the strange thing is, when there's pain, in the same time, it's not. There's nothing. There's no pain. You can't explain that. I can't explain that, but it's there. And pain can be very strong. Sure. There's another chat. Were you working towards this state of being, or it just happened out of the blue? It happened out of the blue, and it didn't happen. Oh, it's not happening. It's not a state. Also, it's a loss. It's something that isn't happening anymore. That's more like it. It's more like there's so many filling in and imagination and beliefs and concepts about how things are and thinking about that and just it doesn't feel like a belief. It's normal to see things like that also in time and everything. And then it's not, it's lost. That whole thinking about that there's something wrong and it didn't come up anymore. That's it. And that's just everything went the same way. Nothing did change in that sense. Normal. The only thing that didn't happen anymore is there's something in. There's nothing wrong. What didn't happen? There's something wrong with it, with something. And the rest, the tension in the body was still there. Seeing, I was in the sauna, so seeing that's the same. Everything is the same. So in that sense, it's not a state. It's seen like it's already like that. But we live in a dream. We live so in a dream. I lived in a dream. That's, of course, it's so convincing. It seems so real and convincing, and so many beliefs and concepts you don't even know. I didn't know. Maybe there still are. There's so many like that. And then suddenly it seemed like, oh, huh? It's not like that. I didn't know how I couldn't speak about it also in the first years. I didn't speak about it because I didn't know what to say. Because it's always changing. It is not a state. It's not a certain feeling. It's everything. So everything goes on like it did before, in a way. It doesn't stick anymore, something like that. Maybe it's even stronger, because in the beginning I was feeling like, oh, I'm walking naked here, like that. Now that's not so much there. It's just normal, but there's not no protection or trying to be safe or things like that. So everything can be very strong and like that. So maybe the character is different. By other people, there can be a different character and a different way of behaving. But that's, and then the funny thing is that still also is that the character is blossoming, because there was a lot of tension. There can be a lot of in this character. There was a lot of in the story. There was a lot of tension about how to behave and being quiet and things like tense, and that's not that so much there anymore. So there's the character is more blossoming, but it's not that serious anymore, something like that. But still, every feeling can happen, or anything can happen, accidents, anything. I don't know. I don't know will go on. Nobody knows. It's a misunderstanding, but it's a misunderstanding that's so embodied that it seems so solid and so real, what is going on and how to deal with that. That's it. It's a dream. Thank you. It feels a bit freeing not having to do, not having to do or to change things. Yeah, change things. Doing maybe there's some moment and they're changing. Things are changing, or maybe you think you're doing that, and that's what's happening. Can be like that, but there's no need to do anything. That doesn't. I don't say you don't need to do anything. That's something else. It's not an advice or giving an advice to anyone. No, I don't see anyone. It's saying that there's no need for anything. That doesn't matter that you don't go, that you're saying, oh, I have pain, I'm not going to the doctor, I'm just feeling the pain. No, that's a concept. Maybe there's a lot of pain and going to the doctor, I don't know. Then that's what's happening. There's nothing is denied. It's just what it is. And what's going on, I don't know. But it's not up to me to decide what's going on. Life is deciding, you could say. Yeah.
Rose, I've got a question again.
Yeah, yeah.
So at the beginning of this meeting, then I was really getting along with you saying that there is no world, only this here now. And now I hear you say like what's happening is just life, and so then I got thinking about, okay, then there's life, but just the sensation of something we call life. If you say there's real life, this for me is sounds it sounds different.
But life has nothing to do with the world. Life is what's happening, what's seen, what is seen. There's no outside this room, you could say, and then what is seen, a lamp, or that's everything. There's nothing outside a room. There's nothing inside here also. There can be feelings maybe, or seeing glass. That's just life is that. Happening. It's everything. That's what's happening, and there nothing is more. There's nothing outside. In that sense, you could. There's life, but it's not. There's also, because that what we normally think. There's a whole world, and there's happening anything, or there's Amsterdam, or That's a story. That's just a story.
That's a story. Yes.
Yeah.
So if now we speak about Amsterdam and the red light district, there's no experience of this. There's experience of we talking about this.
No, that's just information about that something. Yeah.
Yeah, and it appears now.
And maybe you see an image. Then you see an image or something like that. That's more. That's it.
Yes,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean there is a red light district. No. Yeah.
Understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
And talking happens like that. There can be words saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything goes by itself. Could say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this, I am not more special or so. No, it's already like that everywhere. Yeah. So this is not a special state or some. No, there's something lost, and that's that whole abstract thinking. That still there can be abstract thinking, but that all those beliefs and that concept, like there's something wrong and I have to fix it, and I'm there, and that's. In that sense, everything is lost, and then there's, nothing is important anymore. There's no Rose. There's no Rose. But that can be also threatening because we're so convinced that there's an identity, and I'm looking for something in the world, and then no, there isn't. No. Yeah. There's that face. That's it.
Yeah, it's actually very freeing.
It's
freeing and more normal than the stories that I've been told. Yeah.
It's very, very normal. What I like about this message, it's so normal. It's just normal, and it's not about saying certain things, or it's everything. So talking in the story with a friend, of course, why not? Everything is that. Yeah. That's the freeing. You don't have to behave. I was like, I don't have to behave. I was always behaving in a certain way. Busy with that. Oh my God. No, I'm sitting also in meetings. Like, I'm just sitting. Nothing is busy with. How do I look? How do I behave? What do I saw a meeting. I thought, what a lot of fingers you see. Oh no. That's Rose. But at the same time, it's not. So it's just fingers.
Yes.
It's amazing. That's so free. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very nice. But sometimes I notice I also get a little bit caught up in thinking. So
of course.
about also, for example, what is consciousness and how does, and also this can lead to stories. And now,
Yeah, of course.
in this meeting, I noticed I got put back on my place again. Like, but this is, and if there are stories about consciousness, then there are stories about consciousness, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
That's
very,
just stories and words and thinking. And you don't have to stop it or something like, no, of course, no, why not?
Yeah.
You can stories about consciousness or about the red light is great. It's the same.
Yeah. It's very. It makes everything very more intense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
seems to be. It seems to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I go mute again for so other people can join.
Okay.
Hello, it's Christian.
Yeah, hey? Hi.
Yeah. So when you say there's no before, no after, it's
Mm,
surprising because I know that I'm sticking with that with time. So, for example, I had an accident. I was skating and I fell,
mm,
and I had that pain after.
mm,
And I realize with when I talk about it, I realize I want that story to be real. I'm
mm,
sticking with it.
mm,
It's important that
mm,
the story that I said to people that I was skating, I
mm,
fell,
mm,
so there's pain. And when I sometimes it's the story fall, uh, I realize that so
mm,
it's not real. I make it
mm,
up. I make the story up, and I want to believe it. So
mm.
sometimes it's there's no story. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not
Mm,
interested anymore to tell that story. So
mm.
yeah,
That's,
it's
yeah,
losing. I want it
yeah.
to be real.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult to tell about, to talk about this because I can hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's it. And there can be pain, maybe somewhere, and but you want to relate it and to see it and to talk about. Yeah, of
Yes,
course. Yeah,
yes. I want to talk about it. I want to be real. So it's
mm.
secure. It's a secure thing.
Yeah. Strange, huh?
Secure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the loss. That's
Mm.
talking about loss. Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
that feels
yeah,
like
yeah, that's a
loss.
lot.
It's, I think it's not, but in the same time, it feels very much like loss. Like, oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
it's a lot, but it's
yeah,
freeing.
yeah, it's really, yeah, that's it. That's the loss where I'm talking about. Yeah. Hmm.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. It's strange because in the same time, when it's realized, you think like, yeah, that's not really a loss, but it feels like that. That's, oh, it's that, yeah, it can be like that. Sure. Mm.
Yes, I'm letting it. I'm not letting, but it's like something drop away,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that it's like that.
yeah,
It's a prize.
yeah. And
Uh,
it's strange when you talk about it, you think like, huh? And still, it can be so much there. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
mm, mm.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
Yes,
That's the loss. Yeah. Mm.
yes, that's a loss.
Mm.
Mm, mm, thank you.
Mm. This is funny. There came a lot of thoughts here, a lot of thoughts about how it is and things like that. And I thought, oh, that's nice to say. And then it was quiet and nothing was said and nothing did go on and it is gone. So there's no one can do anything to do something with what's going on. It seems like we're so used to think that, oh, when something is happening, I can do something with that, and how can I deal with that, and what can I do? And then the strange thing is, there's no one. There's no one. And it's already what's happening. It's already that. It's everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. We are looking for something. We're looking for some feeling, for something to hold on and to have. And it's everything. That's the misunderstanding. It's everything. So it is a feeling or no energy. It's seeing the floor. It's drinking coffee or beer. It's everything. And nothing is more important than anything else. Everything is life. It's unconditional and it's moving and it's changing and it seems a story like that. And it's a misunderstanding. It's happening to you. There's no one. It's empty. Everything is empty. Nothing is happening. It's an apparent happening. Nothing is real. That's the amazing freedom. And it's unconditional. It's unconditional love. Everything is love. Unconditional love. So it's not a nice feeling. It's unconditional love. For no one. That's the freedom. That's life. Life is already unconditional love. There's no need to look for it. The looking for it is hiding. That makes it hide. So it thinks like, oh, it's not there. So what I can look and we have an image of how it is and how we feel love and things like that. And we have an imagination about that. It's everything. It's hiding by being everything, by moving the hands in a certain way, or watching films, or being in a meeting, or just sitting. It's the sitting, is it? It doesn't matter how it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It's everything. That's the freedom. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you.